Are you one of those lucky people who can read a book while moving in a car, a plane, or a bus without feeling sick? For many, it's not an easy task, as they feel nausea, vomiting, and headache and other symptoms while trying to read or just travel. In this video, we'll explore the science behind motion sickness. Motion sickness is a seemingly simple problem, but the science is yet to find the real reason behind it and a cure. There are several theories suggested by the scientists. Let's look at the one that has wide acceptance at present. Motion sickness is supposedly caused by the brain receiving conflicting signals from the eyes and ears. You might ask, ears? Yes, ears it is. There is something called vestibular system in our ear. It just acts like a gyroscope or a motion sensor on a smartphone. A fluid in a tube inside vestibular system helps the brain detect the position and movement of our head. It also helps detect the vertical and horizontal motion and also the acceleration. When you are in a car and if your vestibular system is working perfectly, then it senses that you are in motion. At the same time, while looking at something constant inside the car, our eyes signal that we are at rest. You might be thinking, what if our brain receives a conflicting signal? Isn't our brain more advanced than any other animal? Can't it detect that we are in a car and moving? That's where the theory of evolution comes into play. For millions of years, humans never experienced high-speed travel. It's been just over a century since we started experiencing such speeds, and it's just like a blip in the evolutionary timeline. And our brain is yet to evolve and understand these conflicting signals. All it knows is such signals are received only due to poisoning, and it immediately takes steps to protect us from the poison. One such step is to force out all the food from our stomach, because the poison usually comes through our food. How can we avoid motion sickness? One way is to make sure that our eyes and vestibular system perceive the motion. That can be achieved by looking out of the window. You might have noticed, when you are sitting in a passenger seat, you are more likely to experience motion sickness than when you are driving. That's because when you are driving, your senses are better coordinated. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is only a widely accepted theory. It does not explain some aspects like why women and children experience more motion sickness than men and why drivers experience less than passengers. We have a long way to go until we find a scientific solution to this seemingly simple problem. Here is an interesting trivia for you. A few years ago, many iPhone users experienced motion sickness due to the parallax effect introduced in iOS 7. In this case, the eyes were sensing the motion, but the vestibular system was saying that we are at rest. You can experience this while watching a 3D movie too. In a later iOS update, Apple introduced an option to disable the parallax effect. So that's the science behind motion sickness. We hope you can avoid it next time you travel. Like, share, subscribe and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from TackOn.